Let's look at solving systems of equations in the real world. When we've looked at word problems before, all of the problems that we've ever looked at, we've only been solving for one unknown. So for example, you go to the fair, you pay your one-time fee to get into the fair, and then with the leftover money, we're trying to figure out how many rides we can ride. There's only one unknown, the number of rides. Or you go to the bowling alley, you pay for your shoes and the bowling ball. The unknown is how many games we can play. With a system of equations, we're looking at two unknowns. So we're either typically buying two different things, in this case, granola bars and bags of chips, or we're working two different jobs. So when we have two unknowns, we have to use a system of equations to find it. What we do, looking at this problem, Mr. Martin purchased some boxes of granola bars and bags of chips to have for his students during after-school tutoring. The question that's being asked is how many boxes of granola bars did he buy? We have two unknowns, so we're going to solve it using a system of equations. The way we begin doing this is we draw a table. We have two unknowns, the number of boxes of granola bars he bought and the number of bags of chips. Whatever they're asking, in this case, the granola bars, goes in the first spot, granola bars. And the other unknown, which is the bags of chips, goes in the what we would call the Y spot. So the granola bars goes in the X, bags of chips go in the Y. We have two unknowns. We know by using our logic that one of these answers is going to be the number of granola bars he buys. So we're going to explore only those four answers. So we put those under the granola bar, 8, 7, 2, and 3. Now we're going to use the information in the problem to help us solve this. We know he purchased a total of 10 items. So he bought granola bars and he bought chips, but together, when you add them together, it's going to be 10 items. So if he bought 8 bags of chips, that means if he bought 8 granola bars, that means he bought 2 bags of chips because 8 plus 2 gives me 10. If he bought 7 granola bars, we know that he bought 3 bags of chips because 7 plus 3 is 10. If he bought 2 granola bars, we know that he bought 8 bags of chips, and if he bought 3 granola bars, we know that he bought 7. So those two numbers together have to add up to be 10. Next, we're going to look at the cost of the items. Each bag of chip costs $3.49. And each granola bar costs $2.50. Okay, so we've used that piece of item, we've used that piece of information, and we've used that information. Last, what we know is that he spent a total of $27.97. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to say 250 times 8 plus 2 times 359 equals what? We're looking for the one that equals 27.97. So we're going to type that in directly into our calculator like it looks. So 250 times 8 plus let me rewrite that. If we type it in exactly as it looked in our calculator, the 250 was in the parentheses. So 250, 8 plus 2, and I forget the price, was $3.49. That gives us a total of 26.98. Again, we want our total to be 27.97. So we know that that is not the answer. We're going to use that exact same formula, but instead we're going to change it, our 8 to a 7 and our 2 to a 3. Now the nice thing about our calculators is that we can just arrow up, hit enter, and it will copy it. So I just have to change the 7 or the 8 to the 7 and the 2 to the 3. That gives us 27.97. And that was what we wanted. So my answer is right here. So how many granola bars did he buy? 7 granola bars. Let's try another one. The freshman class purchased the purple baseball caps and purple water bottles to sell for the fundraisers. So we have two unknowns. Whatever they're asking, the number of water bottles goes first. The other thing we sold were caps or hats. Same thing. We know one of my answers is going to be one of these guys, so I'm going to type those in. Okay. Well, how many total items did they buy? 70. So 20 plus what is going to give me 70? 20 plus 50. 45 plus what? If you can't do that in your mind, and that's okay. Take the 70, subtract 45, and what do you get? 25. 70 minus 25 gives me 45, and 70 minus 50 gives me 20. All right, let's use our next piece of information. Each cap cost $5.50, and each water bottle costs $2.50. We know that we're going to add these two numbers, and we want a total of 250. So we're going to type them in until we get a total of 250. So 250 times 20 plus 50 times 550. $250 times 20 plus 50 times 550. And that gives me 325. Remember, we want it to be 250, so that is not my answer. We're going to change our answers to 45 and 25. And that gave me 250. And that was what I wanted. So this is my correct ordered pair. How many water bottles? 45. Let's try one more. Please hit pause and actually try this one on your own. Actually, let me help you set it up a little bit, and then I want you to try it on your own. We're looking at two unknowns. In this case, it is how many hours did she work at McDonald's? And my other unknown is the number of hours she babysits. All right, I've helped you get it started. Go ahead, fill in your answers, use your information, and hit pause, and then come back. Okay, if we fill in our answers, we have 5, 16, 6, and 15. We know she worked a total of 21 hours, so 5 plus 16, 16 plus 5, 6 plus 15, and 15 plus 6. $7.25 an hour at McDonald's, and $2 an hour babysitting. We add those together and we're looking for 120.75. I already did the work for us. We're looking for the one that was 120.75. So if we go here, I plugged them all in. We did 5 and 16, which gave us 68.25. 16 and 5 gave us 126. 6 and 15 was 73.50, and 15 and 6 was 120.75. So my last answer was the one that I wanted. So how many hours did she work at McDonald's? 15 hours.